Hello, everybody. In case you're wondering where I've been sick. I still have my blisters. This is a new computer here. Well, it's kind of new, old. Well, it's new for me because mine is kaput. And I have yet to receive my new one. So this one is kind of old, but it's new to me. Your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today. Resolution as America. It's a new year, but it will be the same old, same old. Because we have lost complete control. The NWO is now in control. And they'll put whoever and whatever they want in office. And that goes for the House and Senate too. When they tell you that there is no two Americas, they are lying. You do have two Americas. You have the elitists and now the very poor. They are, have done away with the middle class, and all that's left are those who can barely make it. And they make it because they are receiving aid. They are slaves. Some Americans are waking up to it, some aren't. Some say it's not excrement. So you have a fancy TV. So what? That's just to pacify you. So you have an automobile to get around. So what? That's just to pacify you. So things are bearable. So what? That's just to pacify you. The elites run for office. The elites have the money. What? Only the elites can become politicians, career politicians, and presidents. Don't believe me? Try and run for president from your own home. Today I am announcing my candidacy for president. See if I can get in there. I bet you I won't. And I dare and challenge everybody to do it. Run! Show everyone it is excrement. Only the elites are capable of having that power.
Reed almost can't believe it.
They have the help of the Rockefellers and Rothschilds and the European elites. The United Nations and the Council on Foreign Relations. Organizations that are all part of the NWO. And don't say it's not excrement.
There's a man that never stops believing.
Here's what I think the future holds for us. The NWO has a game plan. It is called Revelations.
They fucking did it, huh?
Yeah, we're watching football here. They did it.
Bought that one for sure.
My brother says every football game seems to be bought. How do we know that's not true? Doesn't the NWO control sports to keep the masses entertained? As I was saying, though, the game plan is biblical revelations. In the year 2014 and 2015, there will be eclipses and tetrad eclipses of the moon and the sun. These are events the NWO wants to use to their advantage. They wanted a war. The American people said, no! The Europeans say, no! So now it's up to the Rothschilds.
We need something safe for the little one.
Israel is all that is left to them to start this war. 2014, 2015, be looking for some sort of treaty between Palestine and Israel, and that will be broken sometime soon afterward.
What makes Hendrix different is their salesmanship.
Iran is going to go ahead with its nuclear program.
When you have somebody that you trust and that you feel comfortable with,
this will allow the NWO to have their war.
KC 2020 News is brought to you by Gold Leaf Real Estate Properties.
Since the American people and the European people said no, NWO will say yes.
When you want to stay connected,
they do not care who will win. But here's how it goes. If Chinese win, Chinese will be in control of the world. And their currency will be the currency. If Russia wins, then Russia will be in control. But they have been cooperating with China and will allow China to be financial power. Once again, you will have Chinese currency.
Saturday night, it's tournament time as the Saints and Eagles meet in an NFC wild card playoff.
If Europe
Crazy here, 48
wins,
pretty good though, 25 degrees.
then all bets are off.
As Drew Brees and his Saints come into Philly as they got
Because they
and his Eagles.
want and have most of the control in the United States through Israel.
4 games this year, 10. Thanks in good measure to the fact that a quarterback who served the season on the bench while
The Rothschilds came from Europe.
led the league in rushing and a rookie head coach who will do anything at any time. Their theme
European fake Jews.
Meanwhile, the Saints wound up with 11 wins this season, are the wild card in the 16, meaning a team.
Now, I don't have any problem with Israel. My problem is with the Israeli government.
From tomorrow. Chris, this just in. The Saints are a better home team than road.
But if they get in charge, the Israeli government,
What's their plan tonight?
Well, first of all, I don't
everybody will be slaves because they have this attitude. Goya means to serve.
I was trying to match voice with Chip Kelly's offense. But Rob Ryan and his fourth-ranked Saints defense.
But the Orthodox Jews don't go like that. They don't roll like that.
Finished 7-1. They're on a roll.
The Orthodox Jew believes in diaspora.
Nobody's come even close.
We are supposed to be spread all over the earth until Jesus Christ comes.
Two of the best playmakers.
And that's the way it should be.
But you hit on it when Nick
But it's not that way because of the Israeli government.
The Philly win, they go to Carolina next week. The Saints win, they go to Seattle.
The Europeans created this mess.
Wild card Saturday night.
That's France and Britain after World War II. They created this mess. They allowed this to happen
holiday savings on the
when they should have said, no.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance.
The Ottomans allowed this to happen when they said, okay, immigrate to us. They told the Jews it was okay, and the Jews came. You want someone to blame? Blame Britain and France and the Ottomans. And don't say those goddamn Palestinians were there first, because they weren't. The Palestinians are Egyptians that were placed there by Egypt to offset Zionism. This mess has been created and cannot be undone. America should stay out of it now. It's time to get back to isolationism. But unfortunately, our leaders are fascist Nazi bastards. Which is why I dare you and challenge you to run for president
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
and kick, scream, and complain that things are the way they are right now in America.
Power their training regimen by putting their twist on Subway favorites like the tender turkey melt. Everything gets my signature.
Free trade is for scum.
And it's loaded up. But taste terrific turkey melt.
Aid to foreign nations is for scum.
Subway, the official training restaurant.
The Federal Reserve are scum.
For the best Sunday night football. Listen at allaccess.com.
Debt-free money is the answer.
On the sidelines.
Gold and silver are the answer.
NBC Sports.
Mining for our own oil and natural gas are the answer.
Here is the Mercedes-Benz Superdome, where it's only 7
Forget about
New Orleans.
climate change. The only way you can combat climate change is to plant more trees and plants that absorb the carbon dioxide.
Their starters healthy for tonight. The Saints are without running back Pierre Thomas out with a rib injury. And while they're deep in that
You battle environmental problems with natural plant life, dummy.
Speaking of pass protection, the Saints are starting at left tackle. Teron Armstead is making just his third NFL start.
And with the oceans and
Nine-year veteran Trent Cole.
the coral reefs
The last 6
and
Sean Payton told us, I like that.
plankton.
Respect to Trent Cole. Payton hinted that Cole might not be the force he was 4 or 5 years ago. When I asked Cole about the rookie, he said he still has that new car.
We cannot fight these stupid wars and hope to win. There ain't no win situation. We can, however, defend ourselves from the cuckoo nuts. Now I'm speaking about Islam. If Islam were to win this war, then Sharia would be everywhere. And Sharia is an abomination. They beat the women, they kill the gays, and anyone who is not of their faith has to pay the jizya. That's a tax.
Sports science and all the rest. We'll talk about it during the game, and right now he has won the toss and has deferred Philadelphia to kick off. And
These are cold, hard facts you have to swallow. I say, screw the old world. Let's stay to ourselves and keep Mexico and South America separate from us, unless they want to cooperate. We don't need to have a union. We need to have a cooperation. Every nation should keep its sovereignty. It's all right to have a cooperative union, but allow every nation to be sovereign. They can't all be democratic republics, because we are the only democratic republic for now, until martial law is declared. And watch, it will be.
First down and long on their opening play, forced down at the 44-yard line by Patrick Chung. It's a gain of 17.
Tried a little stunt right off the bat. It kind of got caught with it, tried to come this way, and just ended up getting pinned inside by Ben Watson and Zach Strief. And
taking this nation back is not going to be easy now, because it has gone too far.
They do a lot of shifting of personnel, unlike Philadelphia. A little swing pass to Sproles on the outside, and Sproles takes it to the 49-yard line where D'Amico Ryans makes the tackle.
And everyone who tells you isolationism can't work is full of it. It can work, because in that manner you can set an example for other nations, and they can decide whether they want to go the Democratic Republic route or the Communist route. The New World Order is the Communist route. Communist collectivism.
Connor Barwin, Cincinnati. D'Amico Ryans, Bow Tie. Michael Kendricks, Cal. Trent Cole, Cincinnati. Bradley Flynn.
There are too many stupid Americans who do not understand that. They don't believe it's excrement. Excrement. That's what it is.
tight end or your intended receiver, 2nd and 10.
I have to say this is what I'd be doing defensively as well. Anytime
We have
back in the
fascist Nazi Americans too.
linebacker, I would go right at him, but
In the end,
really developed in this.
it may be 1/3 of us against the rest of them. Part of all of what's going on right now is to reduce over 3 trillion in population on the planet down to 3 million on the planet. This is all part of their cabal idea for control. The less people, the more controllable. They will either do it through war or they will do it through Agenda 21. Do I have to show you everything? Look for the information yourself. Don't trust the media. The media is ran by the NWO.
It looked like Breeze was throwing something away. I couldn't tell was it a towel or what.
Yeah, right back to the umpire. You could see.
And for all our
At that point, he kind of lost track of the play clock.
patriots
Up, it said 1.
in the armed forces, if you see Obama's Nazi leaders giving orders that are against everything that we've ever believed, and they will, trust me, because he's removed all the commanders that would never even dream of firing on American citizens and replace them with Nazi scum. If you see or hear anything, refuse to follow those orders. Stand down. Allow citizens to stand up against the tyrants.
Out of Oklahoma, so it's going to be 4th down and 2.
Or you're going to see Connor Barwin come in here after Jimmy Graham and just completely mess up that end of the route as they double cover him.
The founding forefathers intended for each state to have its own militia.
Already big plays in this game.
Well, right now they're going to pass up an opportunity at about
The military
they changed stickers a couple of weeks
was not their idea.
and they would at least line up to go for it on 4th and
Their idea was to have a militia for each state, and that militia would become the military in a time of war. And after the war, they would go home.
that's Breeze. Trying to
Standing military was not the idea, not the plan. That's why we had the Second Amendment, and everyone was to be armed.
As soon as that shoulder came out of there, that's what they called
Now you can argue
everything. You don't
that back then
ultimately go for that
they did not imagine that someone could have
change anything.
an AR-15 or an automatic weapon or even a rocket launcher. But I will argue that you should have an AR-15, an automatic weapon, or a rocket launcher. You should be the militia in each state. There should be no army, no standing military. You serve in a time of war, you go home when the war is over. get rid
With the Southwest Airlines,
of the Army
go to southwest.com where our lowest fares
and combine
$69
the Navy, Air Force, and Marines
and car paid vacant.
as one unit,
The Wright brothers started in a garage.
one mobile seagoing unit.
Hewlett Packard
And their orders
started in garages.
should come from a civilian,
Started in a garage.
not a tyrant.
Did you ever know what kind of greatness could come out of an American garage? Introducing the 2014 Motor Trend Car of the Year, the all-new Cadillac CTS.
And they
Garage is great.
should serve only
99 cents a week.
when it's necessary and go home when the war is over.
99 cents has never been hotter. With Jimmy's spicy
That would leave
packages.
Now that's better.
our mobile
The Big Bang.
Navy, Air Force,
Started it all.
Marine
The hardest working calories.
equipment always on the West and East Coast, ready to go only in a time of war. No standing military.
Buy Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
We, the people, are the military.
Everything in your life has to buy Cadillac. The National Citizen Center here in Philadelphia.
Same goes for the politicians. No career politicians. No career
For the offense, there is full
president.
the league in passer rating.
That sucker should only be in there for 5 or 6 years at the most. Then go home. And that idiot in the House and in the Senate should only be in there for 8 years and then go home.
Last year, picked in the third round out of Arizona, saw some action against Philadelphia. Does not fumble. Doesn't mean that they want to hurry up all the time, but there's no hurry. Very often they take a lot of time. They want to play about every 24 seconds, which was the fastest pace in the league this year. Second.
This is America. Let's get back to being America.
Up to the 19-yard line. So McCoy
It will take drastic measures like these
rushing records along the way.
to get it back,
Second round.
because the tyrants rule now.
And this offense fits in.
And there are two Americas, the elite pigs
And he's been phenomenal on this.
and the masses,
37.
and that includes them Nazi Americans. If you do not join us, Mr. Nazi Americans, we cannot win, and you cannot win.
Selling, of course, will catch a lot of balls as well as that goes all too well.
The motion out there, Nick Foles goes that way.
And that's it for this week.
Defensively is don't be fooled. They're trying to get you to look one way and come back.
I'm going to watch some more bot football games. Because the NWO wants us to be entertained. And they will fix games to do just that. I always put in a little humor because, quite frankly, things are so bad that you could just cry because they've taken America away. Hang in there and tell your Nazi neighbor,
He has been the really major difference.
stow that garbage and
Also had Kenny Vaccaro back there.
put your hand in mine
In my opinion, was the best rookie that played this year.
and stop hating.
Lost 10 to an injury.
Let's get those scummy tyrants out.
Defense overall, we saw a year ago.
Quarterback Jabari Greer injury.